There's a new infrastructure bill that's been signed into law, officially known as the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. It takes $1.2 trillion to improve America's infrastructure. Part of that money is a package that includes the biggest single investment in broadband and digital equity in US history. $65 billion are going towards broadband deployment and digital inclusion activities. Let's break down specifically what are those funds going to be used for and how this money is going to be spent. But first, why are we investing so much into broadband? Well, we talked a little bit about this in our last video, which I highly encourage you to check out here. But basically, there's around 30 million people across the United States who do not have reliable broadband internet from their household. That prevents them from looking for remote work, it prevents them from being able to see a doctor online, go to school, and they can't really even participate in our digital economy. Most likely, they don't even know how to use a computer. What this investment does is give an incredible opportunity to improve America's broadband infrastructure and close this digital divide. It's gonna help our economy, it's gonna allow more people to get connected, and it's just an absolute great thing for America. So here are the 7 different buckets broken down by their apportionment. Let's talk about each one. So the first one on the list are state deployment grants at $42.45 billion allocated towards this. This is a formula-based grant program given to states and territories for the purposes of new broadband deployment. Now, the amazing thing here is that these projects must meet a new download-upload standard than the one we've been using for decades, which the one we have been using for decades are 25 megabits download, 3 megabits upload. Now, the new standard is 100 megabits per second download, 20 megabits per second upload. So that's a 4x increase. This project also includes an obligation to offer a low-cost plan as a condition to receive funding. No longer will low-income communities be left out in the cold. This funding is also going to be including a 10% set-aside cost for high-cost areas and funds to provide for technical assistance and establishing a state broadband office. Coming up next is affordability, specifically through the Affordable Connectivity Benefit, which is actually a program that's alive today under a different name called the Emergency Broadband Benefit. What this program does right now is it helps people get a discount off their broadband bill because of the COVID pandemic. If you are a family that qualifies for this program, you are able to get up to $50 off your broadband every month just so you can stay connected. This provision in this infrastructure bill just makes that program permanent. It's now not tied to COVID. The program was originally expected to shut down when it ran out of funds, but now it has more funds to keep it going for the foreseeable future, which is just fantastic. Next, we have inclusion. $2.75 billion allocated for the Digital Equity Act. This Digital Equity Act is aimed at promoting digital inclusion and equity for all communities that lack skills, technologies, and the support needed to take advantage of broadband connections. Look, think of it as the next step after broadband deployment. Bam, you just connected a city with internet. Now you need digital literacy training, workforce development, device access programs, and other digital inclusion measures. This legislation also tasks the NTIA, which stands for the National Telecom and Information Administration, with evaluating digital inclusion projects and providing policymakers at the local, state, and federal levels with detailed information about which projects are most effective. Coming up next are tribal grants at $2 billion allocated. In the previous legislative session, a $1 billion grant program was given to establish the Tribal Broadband Connectivity Program, which provided grants to expand and adopt broadband services on tribal lands across America. Now, this program is receiving an additional $2 billion, which extends the original timeline and increases its impact. This is a very much needed service, as many Native American households do not have the network infrastructure needed for basic remote work, telehealth, or participation in the digital economy. Next, we have an additional support for rural areas, $2 billion. There's an equal amount going towards assistance for broadband infrastructure improvement for rural areas via support by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, including the Reconnect program. This program provides loans and grants to fund the construction and deployment of broadband services in rural areas. Middle mile deployment at $1 billion. Next, we have middle mile investment, which is for creating a grant program for the construction, improvement, and acquisition of middle mile infrastructure. Middle mile referring to the installation of a dedicated line that transmits a signal to and from an internet point of presence. These are mainly funds given towards telecommunications or technology companies with the purpose of encouraging competition between broadband tiers. Once a middle mile is built, then it's much easier to build smaller services to specific neighborhoods. And lastly, we have private activity bonds, or PABs, at $600 million. This is another form of rural area broadband deployment. This is just a fancy wording given to states to finance broadband deployment through the avenue of the Rural Broadband Financing Flexibility Act. And that pretty much wraps it up. Far too many and underserved communities lack the skills and technologies needed to effectively use the internet and the tools and services it has to offer. With this investment, we can ensure that every individual can participate in society, have access to healthcare, obtain education, and build careers no matter where they live. What broadband projects are you excited about? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, I'm Josue. Thanks for watching. Please give a like and subscribe if you like the content and want to see more of this type of content regarding internet, fiber optic, broadband, things of that nature. I know you must hear that like and subscribe from every channel, but it really helps out the channels that are just starting out, like mine. Like at the time of recording this video, the only people subscribed to my channel is me and my dad. So that would be awesome if you could contribute to that pool. So anyways, thanks again and have a good day.